Welcome users, today we're doing an unboxing and a hardware overview of the HTC Vive Cosmos. Welcome back. Well, today's video is just an unboxing and an initial hardware touch and feel. If you want to watch these four heavyweight headsets, the Cosmos, the Rift S, the Valve Index, and the Oculus Quest, duke it out over the weekend, hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. Let's get into this guy real quick. Just a quick overview of your box. As many people have said, a much smaller box than I could possibly imagine, but just a little slide out. Get this going. It's just a classic sleeve like some of the others, but just a plain white box underneath. No super frills or luxury with this guy, just a plain white Vive box. Vive. That's about it though. No fancy holographic stickers here. I needed a knife for that part. So let's get into it. Boom, oh wow. So it looks like your setup begins on the computer by downloading the Vive software. So there's your download and setup. And then just straight into it, guys. You know, we'll move this and move this. And it looks like we're packed for shipping and compactness. No super big presentation here like the Rift S with the headset in the middle or the Valve presenting it to you. Just got clear bags, and this guy's built for packing. So, you know, right away, once we get everything unboxed, we'll do a quick hardware overview, kind of talking about, you know, what we got here. But let's just get it unpacked real quick. Headset with cable. And nothing in this box. Moving kind of quick, and there they are, the legendary Tron Ring controllers. We'll just get those out of their packaging. You know, 1, 2, wow, they're much bigger than I expected, and the rings are oriented towards the side of the controller that they're for, so they're shaped. The rings are straight on the Oculus Rift ones, and these are kind of like diagonal, but let's keep going, and then we'll kind of take a peek at all the hardware, your manuals, and oh, stickers. Look at that. Who knew? And got a box here, some paraphernalia. Oh, here's all your junction box. You know, so yes, this guy uses a junction box, not straight to the PC connection, which from what I've been seeing on the forums, there was a lot of confusion that this was a standalone headset. And that's just the power adapter, but ensuring there's the junction box, that this was a standalone headset. And by standalone, I mean, nice little wipe, you know, nice. Cables, guys. A standalone headset, meaning that you didn't need a PC. And I don't know where that confusion started, but on Instagram, on Twitter, and multiple places, people seem to be confused that for whatever reason that this was a standalone headset. And I'm like, that's just not the case. You still need a PC. This is a PC connected headset, just has inside out tracking. There's your 4 batteries because, you know, we take 2 in each controller for this guy. What's in here? Oh, there's your junction box. If you guys aren't familiar, they have the junction box which everything plugs into first, and then it'll go to the computer, versus people just going straight to the computer with most other PC connected headsets. But other than that, guys, that's nothing in here. And I mean, we'll just move the box now and kind of go into our hardware. All right, guys, let's take a look at our hardware, what we got here. Let's first take a quick look at the controllers. As I said before, you know, they're very similar to the those Oculus Touch controllers, which the Rift S and the Quest both use, but the rings on the Quest controller are similar, the style, but we'll compare them really quickly. So just comparing them really quickly, here's your right Oculus Touch controller. Smaller ring, thin ring, much lighter, versus this guy who's, some people say they like the chunky handle more, but not my cup of tea. But this ring is just oval shaped and canted. So like, for me to hold it straight on, this ring is canted versus, a touch controller, this ring is just dead on. So just talking about the rings on here, these controllers feel large, and I'm sure once I put 2 batteries in them, this Oculus controller is full of its single battery. This one feels just, once I put 2 batteries in here, I can already tell this will be heavier. But that's the light up pattern. Like many people have said, there's your trigger, and this button does not move much at all. I mean, it's a real button, and then here's your, which also has a click at the end. A trigger with a, I'm sure that's your analog trigger with your click, and then that's a new one. So good luck mapping to that. Your, very similar on the inside, joystick with a press, A and B, and then your system button. And then, but what's interesting that a lot of people have said is this grip button. While both the Oculus Touch controller and this controller treat these 3 fingers, they sense them as far as a touch as like a mitten. Imagine if these 3 fingers were in a mitten, so they move all together. But except this Oculus Touch controller, this grip for these 3 mittened fingers is analog. And what that means is it senses how much open and closed the mitten of these 3 fingers are. So when you're looking at your hand in a game or whatever, it opens and closes as that analog is depressed. Where on this controller, it's a button. So it's not gonna quote unquote track your mitten of these 3 fingers opening and closing. Your hands either in the game's gonna be either open or closed. Open or closed, because it's a button. There's no tracking of how much open or closed the hand is. It's either open or closed because it's just a button. So a real big difference there. I mean, 2 buttons on the front and a clicking button for the grip. Now we'll move those to the side because it's very similar. Your junction box, you guys, if you don't know, one in here and the rest to the computer. These are the 3 cords that go in the junction box. Power, USB, DisplayPort. We're covered there. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. And now the headset. Now, as you guys know, the main differential, from this guy to other, similar Halo style headsets like the Rift S is instead of, and go watch my most comfortable headset video where I show you the Rift box, this optics box that I call it slide out and in. But this guy chose to have a flip up, which you can flip up to use your regular eyes and then quickly flip back down, which is a great feature for like a programmer or whatever who's popping in and out of VR, or a VR arcade that your participants need to walk around, and then when it's time to go on your game, flip it down. Super convenient there. Like, I absolutely agree for like an industrial or whatever, corporate, I need to see my eyes, and I'm developing something in VR, so I want to see changes or type some code or development and then flip back in. Super helpful there. Even for a content creator or someone who has to do keyboard inputs and then go back to VR. Very helpful there. But like I said, that optics box, there's nothing that gets those, can let you really press that headset into your face. So it kind of just this fixed point where it is, you know, the halo, your skull sits in the halo, and then however this much comes down, that's as much adjustment as you have. Sure, there's the, on the bottom here, you know, sure, there's that IPD roller bar on the bottom, but that just controls how close and far the lenses are from each other. It doesn't do what the Rift S does in sliding back and forward, which gets those lenses closer to you. It also doesn't do that, what the Index does even better, which is like has the dial on the side that just moves the lenses in towards your eyes. They can almost be touching. That guy's, what it sacrifices for the ability to flip up is the ability to move the lenses closer to your eyes. And we'll have to see in testing if that really is going to crush the FOV or the fit or the sweet spot. But my inkling is that possibly going to have a great effect on that. Your audio solution is very similar to what people have said in the previous iterations of Vive's audio. Very nice solution, you know, kind of like a fixed point adjustment instead of like a floating. Cord coming out the left side, you know, bracketed through the audio. Your classic twist style to adjust. It's kind of recessed into the headband. So you have that there. Classic hanging strap to take that some of that weight off. And then just looking at the rest of the headset, I know, again, in my comfort video about which headset's the most comfortable, we kind of went over, and my unboxing videos, at the other Halo-style headsets. This, and again, here's where my, you know, corporate, who is this for kind of application goes back to. This material, and other people have said it, it's like a, not like a, yeah, like a vinyl or a faux, it's a non-like fabric material, like non-porous, think of like wipe clean, which, you know, is fine, but it feels more like a texturized rubber than a fabric or a foam or a mesh. It's, I would imagine that would be like very easy to clean or wipe or whatever. So again, just going back to that, like, for my thought of what this might be built for, because when in the early VR arcades or like the Void or 4D, I'm pretty sure they had some version of this flip up, early version of this flip up design, and I could have sworn it was a Vive product, or HTC product. Looking on the inside, let's talk about, because I was kind of critical about the Rift foam. Let's look at what kind of face gusset we have here. You know, it's like other, you know, I've never used a previous Vive product, so I was never an original Vive person. But kind of like just, you know, a foam, but the texture of it is like a velvet jacket. Is exactly what it feels like. And other people have commented that this, yeah, like I'll put my mic closer. Like that face gusset, while it snaps in and out, it just, people have just commented on the build quality. That's all I'm showing you there. And I'm not trying to pull it loose or anything, but it sounds like the loose dashboard in a cheap car, but you know, you tell me. This nose gusset is kind of interesting. It's kind of two separate flaps that go over each other. And there's no real structure to it. I mean, if I take it out, there's no... We'll see how that goes. And there's your lenses, as you can see in there. That's about it, guys. I mean, like, pretty simple Halo-style headset, you know. Again, these little audio solutions have like a leather, like a vinyl or faux leather on them. Again, that's not like a foam or a a porous fabric. It's kind of like a smooth textured leather, which, you know, kind of feels good. But that rubber, guys, I'm telling you, that it's like a, you know, yeah, it's like a, it's a non-porous, like very durable material, which sure just leads me to believe, you know, built for longevity instead of comfort. So those are my main observations right now, hardware-wise. I mean, you guys can see the 6 cameras that it has on here. Tracking-wise, we'll see how that goes more. And, you know, I'll give a full review later once I have a few, you know, couple hours into it over this weekend. Well, that's it, guys. That's the Cosmos hardware-wise. Stay tuned for this coming videos coming this weekend as far as reviews, software side, visual side, and see how it compares to all the other headsets that I've previously shown you. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.